What's happening there, guys, and welcome back to World Hikes. One of the many ideas concerning the name's origins is that it comes from an Ainu word for fire combined with san, the Japanese word for mountain. Fuji is currently written in Chinese ideograms or kanji, which convey a feeling of good fortune or well-being. Now let's have a look at the Mount Fuji Yoshida Trail Japan Guide. Number 5. Overview of the trail. The majority of the mountains in Japan are part of mountain ranges, but Mount Fuji, on the other hand, rises alone in the sky. This well-proportioned cone-shaped mountain, located virtually in the heart of the nation, on the prefectural boundary between Shizuoka and Yamanashi, has been adored by the Japanese people since ancient times and is a well-known emblem of Japan and other countries. Furthermore, the region surrounding Mount Fuji's top is 3,776 meters high. The height difference between this point and the climbing entrance at Gotemba, the 5th stage, is between 1,000 and 2,000 meters, and the temperature difference is roughly 10 degrees Celsius. Even in the summer, the lowest temperature at the top and its surroundings is below freezing. Number 4. Getting prepared and getting there. To begin, don't be tempted by the summer heat at sea level into climbing in nothing more than a t-shirt and shorts. At the peak, temperatures may plummet to near zero, and that's before you throw in the substantial wind chill component. While sufficient preparation for the frigid conditions near the peak is essential, the early portions of the climb, particularly if you begin during the day, will leave you drenched in perspiration if you started out in a huge goose feather gown. You should ideally have many layers that you can add to as you ascend the mountain. A list of necessary clothes and other essentials for a safe ascent is provided here. A thermal vest with long sleeves, winter running tops are ideal, a shawl, a down jacket that's both thin and light, a jacket that's waterproof, inner thermal trousers, hiking pants that are light and airy, trousers that are waterproof, socks that are thick, hiking boots that are both durable and waterproof, gloves with a thick woolen beanie, at least a pair of mittens, backpack with a capacity of 30 plus liters. If your backpack isn't waterproof, you'll need to get a waterproof cover, a headlight, as well as a pair of extra batteries. The route is often tough, and tiny stones might easily cause you to slide if you're not careful. Water. Some advocate bringing 2 liters of water with you on the climb. However, the huts offer water and sports drinks for those hiking the Yoshida or Fuji Nomio trails. Doing so helps lighten your load. Food. Climbing for many hours in the cold saps your vitality. Energy bars, chocolate bars, bananas, and other similar foods are required, while these things may also be purchased at the rest stops along the way. Cash. Credit cards aren't accepted at the lodges. Blanket for outer space, LED that flashes, canisters of oxygen. If you start to feel altitude sickness coming on, they may be able to assist. Nevertheless, if the symptoms are severe, the only option is to descend. Poles for hiking. At the departure points, 1,000 wooden sticks are offered, but they're neither as light nor as compact as professional trekking poles. This is especially true during the descent. It's worth noting that for $300 to $500, you may have a stamp burned into the wood at each checkpoint, making for a nice keepsake. Sunglasses and sun hat. On clear days, you don't have the clouds to cover you after the sun comes out, therefore, they're there for the descent. Moreover, taking a bus from Shinjuku to Subaru 5th Station in the early afternoon and then climbing to one of the mountain lodges along the route is the most common method to climb Mount Fuji. You spend the night there before rising extremely early the next morning to trek the peak in time to view the sunrise. Number 3. Trail description. There are 4 pathways to go to the top of Mount Fuji, each having 10 stages. However, most hikers begin at the 5th station. Yoshida. The most popular trail for climbing Mount Fuji begins at the Fuji Subaru Line 5th station and leads to the summit from the mountain's north side. There are mountain cottages and other amenities sprinkled along the route up, making it ideal for tourists who wish to stay overnight before continuing the journey at daybreak. On the other hand, there's a second path to descent that has significantly less lodging alternatives. At the 9th stop, this path diverges from the Subashiri route, therefore pay attention to the markers. The hike is rated as a beginning trail since it takes 6 hours to climb and 4 hours to descend. Subashiri. Until the 8th station, the Subashiri Trail follows the Yoshida Trail until it diverges to become a more difficult ascent for experienced hikers. This is because the forest zone extends to high heights, necessitating extra caution and the use of a light for night walkers. On this walk, hikers will be rewarded with a wider range of vistas. You'll stroll down a track of volcanic gravels on your descent, providing for a more thrilling and dramatic encounter. The climb takes around 6 hours, and the descent takes about 3 hours. Fuji Nomio. This is the second most popular way to the summit of Mount Fuji, since it's the fastest, taking just 5 hours to reach the summit along a steep and rocky ascent. This track begins on the south side of Fuji, near Fuji Nomio Trail 5th Station, and ascends and descends in the same direction, reducing confusion. It takes 3 hours to descend. The Gotemba. This is the most difficult ascent to Mount Fuji. The trail has a mid-slope with a continuous climb to the summit. It's best suited to experienced hikers who can tolerate the huge altitude change. Otherwise, it may become weary rapidly. Because there will be significantly less people taking this path, it'll be calmer and you'll always have a clear view of Fuji as you ascend. This path also includes a thrilling descent through volcanic gravel. This route doesn't have any huts or restrooms until the 7th stop. The climb takes around 7 hours and the descent takes about 3 hours. Number 2. Opening hours and facilities. You may trek Mount Fuji outside of the peak season, contrary to common opinion, but there are certain things to consider. In order to get the whole experience, you should ascend Mount Fuji during the summer. Here's all you need to know about climbing during the peak season, off-season, and at night. Peak climbing season runs from July to early September, and there's no requirement for a guide or permits to climb during this time. All trails, as well as public transportation and amenities like lodges, stores, and restrooms, are available to the public. Outside of these months, the trails and facilities are closed and climbing is not recommended owing to inclement weather. Taking public transportation to the mountain is also considerably more challenging. While some people try to climb apart from these months, especially from winter to early June, it's perilous, especially in the winter owing to the snow, and shouldn't be attempted by novice climbers. Many hikers choose to return down Mount Fuji by skiing or sledding. Furthermore, permits are not necessary to walk Mount Fuji at any time of the year. If you go during the off-season, the prefecture police department asks that you fill out a climbing form in case of an emergency. Although there are no expenses associated with climbing Mount Fuji, there are costs associated with services like bathrooms, snacks, lodgings, and transportation. So make sure you have cash and coins on hand. Number 1. Mountain/landscape. Mount Fuji, Japan's highest peak at 12,388 feet or 3,776 meters, is recognized for its conical elegant shape, temples and shrines around and on top of the volcano, which is the country's holy emblem. Climbing Fuji has long been a religious ritual, and it's now one of Japan's most popular tourist destinations. While legend has it that an earthquake triggered the eruption, the reality is more complicated. Fuji seems to have developed over a period of 2.6 million years. The current mountain is made up of 3 consecutive volcanoes. Tomitake lies at the bottom, followed by Ko-Fuji or Old Fuji, and lastly Shin-Fuji or New Fuji. Ko-Fuji's lava and other ejecta have blanketed much of Tomitake for millennia. It's a special purpose beauty area and a historic site in Japan. On June 22, 2013, it was inscribed as a cultural site on the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Mount Fuji has inspired artists and poets and been the subject of pilgrimage for generations according to UNESCO. Within the Mount Fuji area, UNESCO has designated 25 culturally significant sites. Fujisan Hongo Sengen Taisha, a mountain and a Shinto shrine, is one of those 25 sites. Alright guys, that's all from us today. Do be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video. Catch you guys later!